briefs the media later this afternoon, Nick.
So many questions, Kelly, including that tip line. Do I call on someone I think is here illegally because they've overstayed a visa? What is the public expected to do? Kelly Meyer, live at the White House. Kelly, thank you so much. Joining me now to go over the next steps in this investigation is Robert McWhorter, criminal defense lawyer and constitutional expert. Robert, good morning. I just asked Kelly a question that was literally at the top of my mind with this tip line that the White House will employ. Should citizens be calling on their neighbor if they think that they're here, one, on a visa that they may have overstayed?
Well, I suppose they can. That creates other problems because people jump to conclusions about people all the time, and it could waste a lot of government resources, but that is one way to do it. Look, the trouble with this Trump regime is they have a trouble actually enforcing immigration law. They make a lot of big splash about certain things, but their numbers are way down. They're not doing a very effective job, and also that's because they're wasting time making big media splashes about immigration and not actually enforcing the law very well.
Robert, it seems, though, like a Sisyphean task. How does one find those who are here with a visa, who have overstayed that visa, and then target those individuals specifically?
Oh, it is very, very difficult. In fact, all the criticism that Donald Trump wants to throw at Joe Biden, et cetera, really is because this is just difficult. And it's a real false narrative going on about this. And this man's case shows the false narrative. For one thing, it doesn't appear that this man was even in the country actually illegally. He had applied for asylum. So he's not a, quote, undocumented person per se or illegal alien, if that is true. Now, he did lose his work authorization, but it appears that he still had a right to be here because he applied for asylum like 1 month or so after he had come in on the B1 visa or B2 visa. So there's a lot of ambiguity going on in this very case. The kind of throwing all the blame on the Biden administration to continue the false narrative about open borders is really a big problem.
And Robert, we were even discussing the status of his legality being in the country in the newsroom because he had a waiver, or he was still being extended that work permit. So does that suggest that he was here legally while he was still applying?
Oh, it suggests that he was. And it's unclear why he lost the work permit. But it really shows that he was actually here legally, participating in the asylum process. And, you know, this also underscores a whole other thing. If you say that somewhere around 40% of all the people here undocumented came in through a visa or other means, it does underscore why, for instance, a border wall would be utterly ineffective, at least for half the people in the country without documentation because they came in legally. And we're talking numbers of 4.1 million visas under B1 and B2 are granted every year. And that's a great economic benefit for the United States with the tourism and business activities going on. So there is the problem. So sure, I think the Trump regime has a terrible problem on its hands, but all administrations do. And to throw all this kind of blame on the prior administrations, et cetera, is really unfair because it's a hard problem.
Robert, you pointed out tourism visas play a critical role in the U.S. economy. How do we balance legitimate visa access with the need to track and prevent abuse?
Well, I think they do as well as can be done. But realize when you're talking, again, about 4.1 million visas a year, and this is one incident, they're actually not doing that badly. Now, this is not to say that this incident is justified or any way a good thing. But the point is, you know, this is just a difficult thing. And you know, you got to balance the benefits and not go around blaming people and look to your own policies.
Robert McWhorter, thank you so much. There is definitely a lot here to unpack. Thank you so much for giving me part of your Tuesday morning.
My great pleasure.
Republicans are calling on the president to back new sanctions on Russia as the war